Okay, it's Monday, so it's time to play some fighting games and answer some questions. We're doing Street Fighter this week. We'll maybe alternate. We'll see how it goes. If my interest continues in Street Fighter or not. Played Chun-Li this time and therefore dropped a lot of points as I tried to play a dramatically different character to Ed. It wasn't very fun. So, first up, have you ever messed around with The Sims? I used to play The Sims 2 a lot when that was new. Haven't really played any of the games since then, though. I did like 2 a lot, though. If you were ever given the chance, would you want to live on Mars? Absolutely not. I do not trust Elon Muskrat enough to do that. Seems like a really good way to end up being an indentured servant. So, no, I wouldn't, actually. Next up, Gold DPS looking to find a comfort pick. This was a very perplexing question to me, as I interpreted it as basically being, which character should I like the most? Right? Because, like, that's what a comfort pick is. It's the character you like playing the most, basically. I suppose it could also just be the character you're best at, which is also a weird question to ask, because you surely must know which character you're the best at. So I found it all around a very strange question to ask. People are, like, really weird about this kind of thing, where they worry a lot about the characters they play. But, like, there's another question later about that, actually. But, like, just play the characters that you want to play and don't, like, be so weird about it. Like, it's a video game, you know? Play the characters you want to play. There's no character in Overwatch that's, like, unplayably bad, despite what people might tell you. There are no unplayably bad characters in Overwatch, so just play whoever you want to play, and it will be fine. As long as you're not actually trying to throw on that character. That's all that matters, dog. That's all that matters. Play the next replay. Next up, are there any effective ways to improve without playing competitive? So, no. Not really. People will tell you quick play, and sure, it's better than it used to be because there's the roll queue in both ends now. That used to not be true. But, like, quick play is still just such a complete crapshoot because people are wild animals in quick play. All you're gonna get, like, out of, I forgot about this guy. This guy was a legend. He's actually trying to play, like, watching this guy play is like, he's got a challenge going where he has to spend as little time on the ground as possible. He never walks. Oh, he walked there. Okay, I lied. But, like, look at that. Look at this guy. What an absolute champion. I wonder if he played Fighters, because you do a lot of jumping in that game rather than standing on the ground, but not so much in a game where you can't air dash. Oh my... My man don't walk. My man don't walk. Look. Look. Just look. I mean, I still got slapped by him, which is the worst part. I just couldn't really believe what I was seeing. I watched my man stand point blank in front of me and just jump and jump and jump and jump. What a god. What a god. He didn't want to play me twice. I only got one game with this guy. What was I saying? Yeah, so quick play is better than it used to be, but, like, all you're really gonna get out of it is mechanical practice. You're not gonna get anything else out of it. So you gotta have simple goals, pretty much, if you're gonna try and improve outside of competitive. All you're gonna get is, like, strictly mechanical practice. You're not gonna get anything else out of it. And even then, I argue you don't really get good mechanical practice either, because people act weird, and you're gonna be playing against, like, dumb team compositions all the time. People just don't, they don't, like, play Overwatch. You know what I mean? You know? They're playing their own game. So, you know, everybody wants a way to practice without playing competitive because they don't want to lose the SR. I understand. I'm someone that used to have the competitive anxiety as well. I get it. But, like, really? Sooner or later, you just have to force yourself to do it. That's just how it has to be. I'm sorry. I know. It's unfortunate. You're not going to like it very much, but it's like the best choice you get, unfortunately. Unless you're looking just purely for mechanical practice, in which case, then Quick Play will do it for you. So will some of the arcade games, like Free For All. If you're just trying to practice mechanically, Free For All do ya. Other than that, nope, you're not getting anything else. Next is, when should I prioritize damage as Baptiste? So, like, it's a hard question to answer for, like, all people, because all the supports in the game, you're really looking to do as much damage as you can. But the problem is that, like, it's hard to give people set rules for, like, this is when you damage people, because such things don't exist. You can say, broadly speaking, oh, when you don't need to heal anybody. The thing is, when you don't need to heal somebody is also extremely subject to change in the moment as well. Because your team could, like, collectively be missing, like, half of their health, and there's still no reason to actually heal them because they're not actually in any risk. Because, sure, your team is half dead, but right now you happen to be chasing down a Mercy. So maybe just work a little bit on killing the Mercy before you worry about healing people. It's a little easier for Baptiste, I feel, because Regenerative Burst is a very good healing ability. And if it turns out you fucked up, you have the lamp that can, like, bail you out if you fucked up and needed to heal a little bit more than you did. But, like, all the supports really are, like, you're trying to do as much damage as you possibly can. Because, fun fact, the role is actually called support. It's not called healer, which is a common mistake people make. And, supporting is not the same as healing. You find generally with all the supports, you'll see better returns when you try to spend as little time healing as you possibly can. This is also true with Mercy, by the way. It's just that with her, you're damage boosting. You're not pulling out the pistol to shoot people. All of them are about leveraging their utility and doing damage more than they are about healing people. Because if it was always just about brute force healing people, Moira would be the best support pick always. But she's not, as it turns out, because there are other things going on. Like, you'll win games as Anna more often when you start just throwing your grenade at the bad men as much as you possibly can. As nice as the heal boost is for your teammates, you know what's more impactful than the healing boost on your teammates? Their tank flatly being unable to be healed for a disgusting length of time. Potentially more people as well. It's the stronger effect out of it, it just also happens to be the harder way to use the ability. Because in general, it's very easy to play defensively, it tends to be hard to play offensively, conversely. Which is why I tend to favor a defensive approach in all games I play. Anyway, so it's difficult to say when you should prioritize damage over healing, because the question is so the situations are so permeable in the game. Basically, like, try and think, do my teammates need healing right now? Like, if I don't heal somebody, is there significant risk they die in the near future? And if the answer is no, then you're probably okay to do some damage. Now, the problem is that you can't, even if they don't need healing right now, if they're hurt, you can't just leave them hurt, obviously. So you're making a conscious decision at the time that whatever damage you're attempting to contribute right now is worth more than healing that person. So this relies on the person not dying. The person is not likely to be in risk in the near future either. And you're, saying you can actually do the damage, which can be hard as well, because generally speaking, it's hard to click on the badmen when you are meant to be standing in a pretty defensive position because you're playing supports, right? You're not usually super far forward when you're playing a support, so it'll tend to be harder to do the damage also. But it's like a value proposition thing, basically. You're saying that the damage you can potentially contribute right now is worth more than the healing. For Baptiste as well, you do get a little bit of a buffer in that if you're positioned correctly and there's just like a full-on melee going on in front of you, you can literally hold down both mouse buttons and Baptiste will alternatively fire the healing and the bullets. So if you hold down both buttons while you're just like firing into the chaotic melee, then you'll be doing both, pretty much, because his healing is grenades, so you can be aiming just, like, generally in the area of your teammates and heal them. So you can be aiming at, like, the bad men in the melee, and you'll still be healing your teammates even without directly aiming at them because they're grenades. So you can do that in, like, a full-on melee. It gets a little bit more complicated depending on when it's not a full-on melee, because then you do just have to decide, you know, do I click on my friend or my enemy? The thing I don't really like about holding down both buttons at the same time as well is I find it just makes me aim worse. This is like an extremely personal thing, obviously, but I find just clicking one shot at a time makes me much more accurate than, like, holding down the button. Because some people hold down the fire button while they're playing McCree, and those people are animals. I don't understand it. Absolutely just, oh my god, what are you doing with yourself, you know? Can't hit shit if I try and do that. I have to click each shot individually. So that's the one thing I don't really like about holding down the both fire buttons, but, you know, that's advice you'll get from Baptiste players. Yeah, so, there you go. That was really meandering. I don't think that helped at all, but there you go. So next up is it ever worth trading my life as mercy for a teammate? I will say never. Now, you will be able to conjure extremely edge case scenarios where it is worth doing. Like, you could conjure an image of a world where it's like, you're playing Mercy, your other healer is like Anna, they're still alive, the person that died is Zarya, Zarya has her ultimate, and we also have some big combo ultimate to throw into the Graviton, so it is worth me trading my life to revive Zarya because we potentially win the game off of her comboing her ultimate with somebody else. Sure, you can think about some kind of situation like this being theoretically possible. In practical terms, it will basically never be worth trading your life to res somebody as Mercy. What the more interesting part of this is kind of what the person said in it, which is what that they watch Mercy streamers and pro players go for really risky res plays that they interpreted as them being willing to trade their life for the person they're trying to revive. This is probably not actually true. This is something you need to be careful with when you're watching people who are better than you play the game, which is that you need to be careful you aren't misinterpreting their actions. Because you might interpret it as them doing something really risky and just being willing to trade their life, but in reality, it looked risky, but they've made some kind of call that makes it so it isn't as risky as it might outwardly seem. For example, you could imagine just like, rezzing in front of a Roadhog out of cover is pretty risky. But if you know Roadhog's hook is down right now, it's not as risky as it was previously. Sure, he might still kill you, but like, logically speaking, if he can't hook you, Roadhog is significantly less scary. So, you gotta be careful when you're watching people play the game, that you don't necessarily know what their thought process is. And, like, there's a reason they're a better player than you are, it's because they're better at making these kinds of calls in the minute. So, it's likely that you didn't see something they saw, or you know, you gotta be careful that you don't get like caught up in that kind of thing where you're like, oh well, they must be doing this because why? That's what you're thinking, sure, but is that what they're thinking? It can be hard to tell when you're watching a higher skilled player, unless they're really good about communicating their thought process while they're actually playing, which most streamers aren't. Most streamers are pretty bad at communicating their thought process. I don't communicate my thought process at all because I'm not good at that, basically. People, when they watch me stream, are generally quite surprised that I'm much quieter when I stream because I talk so much in all the other videos I upload. Yes, because it's man, when you sit down to record a video, when I sit down to record a video, it's taken me like an hour of getting myself ready to do that, to like maintain a stream of consciousness for like 30 minutes, you know? That's hard to do. I can't keep it up as a stream. That's why I stream with friends. People are generally quite surprised when they actually have seen me stream after watching the videos. So streamers are pretty bad at communicating their thought process. So just, you know, be careful that you're not misinterpreting actions when you're watching a higher skilled player, basically. Next up, what do I do when there's a Pharah and I play projectile DPS? So I fucking hate the people that post comments on Overwatch University. Okay, I fucking hate them. Because it doesn't matter what the question is. The top comment or very close to it is invariably some variation of "Post a replay code, you soft cock." Like, Jesus Christ. This was one of them where the top comment was like, "Can you post a code? I don't believe what you've told me in the context for the thread." You don't need it. Not every question needs a fucking replay code attached to it, okay? Because, you know, some questions you can answer with general advice rather than guided things at them. And whenever somebody does post a code, they invariably don't even answer the question that the person asked. They'll just watch the replay and then just point out completely different things. Always also with the caveat at the start of their comment, I only watched part of it. And then they'll talk about something completely not even related to what the person asked to begin with. So I fucking hate the people that post comments on Overwatch University. They make me mad. I hate them all. Motherfuckers. Anyway. So this person played, generally projectile heroes that can fight Pharah, so it's not really a big deal, because it was Hanzo, Echo, and I think Pharah was the other one they said. Echo and Hanzo straight up can just kill Pharah. Like, they can do it. Mei even can fight Pharah because the icicle projectile is pretty fast, you know? Zen's a projectile hero. Barely, you know, like he's practically hit scan. His orbs are not hit scan, obviously, but they're very close. They're very, very fast projectiles. So it doesn't even matter for like a lot of projectile heroes. Now, if you play Junkrat, you're gonna have a problem. But like, assuming you play like basically any other projectile hero, you can realistically still fight Pharah. It's not as good as if you can just pick Widowmaker and left-click on her head. Sure. But, realistically, all other hit projectile heroes other than Junkrat can plausibly fight a Pharah. Basically, they were like, I feel like I can confidently kill them on these heroes, but, like, people get tilted immediately when they see a Pharah, and I'm not playing a hit scan hero, but I'm not good at playing the hit scan heroes. What do? Play the heroes you're good at and, like, ignore the people. Like, it doesn't matter if they think you should be playing Widowmaker. If you can't play Widowmaker, you shouldn't be playing Widowmaker. It's, like I always say, the thing that matters above all other aspects is your personal skill with the hero. Everything else is completely irrelevant. Doesn't matter if it's better for your team comp, doesn't matter if it's better against their team comp. It doesn't matter. If you're bad at that hero, don't play that hero. The only thing that matters is that you are good at playing that hero. Nothing else matters. Sure, if you can play a hero that counters them, by all means. But if you can't, don't do it. What matters is you're playing a hero that you're personally good at. And everything else is a secondary objective at best, tertiary. Just don't even worry about it. So actually I have one more question. We're like still like 10-ish minutes away from where I usually like the videos to be at, so we might end up being a little shorter this week. There really weren't many questions this week, at least not that weren't just something like, someone on my team is a terrible person, what do I do? You tell them to fuck off, is what you do. Anyway, there weren't exactly many big questions I had something to say about this week. So last question for this week is, where do you see a bigger increase in your SR? After placement matches or mid-season when playing regular games? So the person said they thought it was placement games because the placement games take your personal performance into account rather than just if you win or lose. If you're below Diamond, your personal performance is always used. After Diamond, it stops using personal performance because people got upset about that. Mostly people that weren't in Diamond. Largely people that were in Gold were upset about personal performance being used to measure SR gains. And, yeah. Do with that information what you will. But, So anyway, my man making a classic blunder here where he's playing the zoning hero and he's like, I don't want to go in, but I got the life lead, brother. I'm going to sit full screen and wait for you to come to me because I'm going to win. I'm not going to run into the zoning hero to hit them when I don't fucking need to. I'm already going to win. I'll just keep jumping over the fireballs. Anyway. And he was like, oh shit, I got 4 seconds left. Fuck. Even if he ran up and grabbed me, in Street Fighter, time can run out while you're grabbing somebody. So even if the grab would kill them, you can run out of time, and nope, fuck you, even though you were mid-grab. So if you're below Diamond, your personal performance is already used in all games. It doesn't matter if it's placement or not. So the thing is, placement games don't really do much. Basically, placement games are games that have slightly higher weighted outcomes than regular games do. Like, if a regular game you played would have given you 25 SR, a placement game probably gave you, like, 30, 35, right? Like, they give you a little bit more, they maybe take away a little bit more. I don't even think that's true. I think they take away about the same that they normally do, to be honest, but they give you a little bit more. This was the first game we played, by the way. The thing with the Street Fighter replays is we have to go, it plays them in reverse order. So, my man here drops the teabag in round 1, because he stunned me, and he didn't win. He didn't win the set, so be careful about teabagging too soon, because Jimmy James Games, real good name, ended up, like, forgetting that he had to have more health when the game times out or you lose, So, anyway, you're gonna see more gains or losses in the games you play during the season because placement games don't actually do a massive amount. They're overall pretty irrelevant as far as it goes. So, yeah, that's all I got for you there. So we got to 25 minutes. We're off by like 5 minutes, pretty good, I'd say, for a slow question week. Good job, Jimmy James Games. You lined that one up perfectly. Shame you lost the next 2 games. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I played him as well after that and beat him anyway again, but whatever. I picked all the Chun-Li games this time. So there you go. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. More than happy to answer. If you have a question that you'd like to see answered on the show, please communicate using your preferred method, be that comment, email, Discord, seismic tremors, smoke signals. It's all good. I start streaming on Twitch Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 p.m. EST to 11 EST. The link's down in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the